for some, Juneteenth might be an example of a step forward, maybe a milestone in our country, recognizing the significance of African American freedom and really, as you said, how our ancestors built this country.
Yes.
What was your reaction to Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday?
I have to be honest, I'm not so sure I was moved one way or the other about it being a federal holiday. I think
Mhm.
the acknowledgement of it is very important. The
Yep.
thing that I think has moved me most is in my reading and in my research, learning that really Juneteenth is not so much about party and celebration, but really Juneteenth is really the celebration of the way in which Black ancestors who were newly freed, their first order of business was to walk this country and to find those enslaved family members who had been taken or stolen away from them.
Mm.
The first order of business was the reassemblage of the Black family as a unit. That's really what Juneteenth is about. Juneteenth is really about Black people putting back together what America absolutely dismantled in terms of family structures.
Wow.
And that's why Black people have family reunions.
Mm-hmm.
The family reunion was really an attempt to do precisely this, and that is to find the family. There's a book by Heather Williams called Help Me Find My People,
Mm.
where she explains this, and she shows how painstakingly so many Black people put out ads in newspapers and magazines and tacked up announcements onto trees all over the South, asking if someone had seen their son, or if someone had seen their father, or if someone had seen twins who were sold away when they were 5. They would be 65 now. Just unbelievable kinds of stories. And that's really the beauty of Juneteenth, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. Well, your novel, The Coming, I think is also a very fitting tribute to Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually read a review that said, part homage to the proud and diverse cultures of Africa, part nightmare of the people stolen from those lands. The Coming seduces us with poetry, then breaks our hearts, but ultimately inspires us to celebrate the indomitable soul of humanity.
Yes.
That was just a review by George Weinstein. So, as you think about The Coming and Juneteenth, is there any connection there? Was there any threads that moved from The Coming to Juneteenth? Can you kind of pull that together for us?
I certainly think so, because the coming is really the story of the Middle Passage.
Mm-hmm.
Middle Passage, our years of enslavement, all really stand together as one narrative. And I think that Juneteenth is ultimately the celebration that our years of physical bondage had come to an end,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that bondage does not start in America. That bondage starts at the point of enslavement on the continent of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes us again across the Middle Passage, across the Atlantic Ocean, where really literally millions of African souls, right, reside right now. That is our watery grave, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come on, of course, to the diaspora, and live our hundreds of years in bondage. And I think of the Middle Passage and those years all as telling a complete story of what it meant for Black people to endure the most heinous crimes any humans have ever endured on this planet. And yet we still come out not just alive, we come out whole, and we come out prepared to, if you will, build a nation and save a world. So for me, Juneteenth is saying, you thought you got us, but you were wrong.
But you were right.